The revolving doors of the Langston Hotel whispered open as Olivia Carter stumbled through, dragging her battered suitcase behind her. November wind had scorched her cheeks raw. Her coat hung damp at the edges, shoulders screaming from hauling her entire life halfway across Manhattan after the subway decided to abandon her on her first day in New York, 4 hours in the city. Already it was chewing her up. She stepped onto gleaming marble. The suitcase wheel gave out. Plastic cracked like a gunshot through the pristine lobby. The bag pitched forward, zipper splitting open like a wound. Her life spilled across the floor. Wrinkled shirts, a box of cooking utensils wrapped in a dish towel, a crumpled letter of recommendation from Portland. Olivia dropped to her knees, mortified. A bellhop approached with cautious steps. Guests in designer coats walked past, some amused, others looking through her like she was vapor. Then it happened. A man, tall and moving like someone fleeing a fire, rounded the corner at full speed. Impact. Her elbow slammed into the broken suitcase handle. She sprawled sideways. His arm caught her around the waist, but not before their bodies tangled in a graceless heap. His hand pressed firm against her back. The scent of expensive cologne reached her nose. Woodsy, touched with spice. "I'm so sorry. Are you hurt?" His voice was low, British, polished with genuine concern. Olivia blinked up into hazel eyes that seemed almost frantic. "I'm fine. What? Do I know you?" "No, but I need your help right now." He glanced over his shoulder like a hunted man. "Can you pretend to be my girlfriend? Just for 5 minutes?" She laughed, pure confusion spilling out. "Excuse me, please? I'll pay you. Just stand next to me, act like you love me, and don't ask questions for the next 3 minutes." Olivia stared at him. "Why would I do that?" "She's here. My ex-fiancée's mother." His eyes locked on the entrance. "If she sees me alone, she'll destroy everything. I just need to look convincingly attached." This was insane. She was late for her job interview. Her belongings scattered across expensive marble. This man had clearly mistaken her for someone far more composed than she currently appeared. But something in his desperation gave her pause. Not manipulation or arrogance, the kind of desperation that came from someone barely holding it together. A woman swept into the lobby like a storm in heels. Mid-60s, impeccable cream suit, lips like a blade, pearls that probably cost more than Olivia made in a year. Her eyes landed on the man. Her expression hardened. He didn't wait. He reached down, helped Olivia to her feet, and with one fluid motion slid his arm around her waist. Her breath caught. His body pressed against hers, warm and steady. He turned his head slightly. "Just go with it," he whispered. Then louder, "Catherine, what a surprise." Catherine's smile was polished but cold. "Ethan, you're early. And you're not alone." "I'm not." He smiled with pure performance. "This is Olivia, my girlfriend." The words felt like snowflakes, deceptively light but capable of burying her. Olivia felt her spine stiffen, but the warmth of his hand at her waist held her steady. She forced a polite smile. "Nice to meet you." Catherine looked her over with clinical precision. "How lovely. And where did the two of you meet?" Ethan answered without pause. "Chelsea Market in the West Village. She was buying fresh basil. I was buying strawberries." Olivia blinked. "Strawberries? Really?" He continued smoothly. "I was captivated. Couldn't let her walk away without getting her number." "Well," Catherine said, lips curling with skepticism, "you must join us for tea." "I was just on my way to meet the family. I'm sure they'd love to meet the woman who managed to thaw the most stubborn man in New York." Tea with the family. Olivia looked at Ethan with wide eyes, silently screaming. He smiled back at her with something that looked dangerously like trust. "She'd love to," he said. Olivia swallowed hard. "I'd love to." And that's how Olivia Carter, a chef who'd just arrived in New York with no job, a broken suitcase and dreams held together with anxiety, found herself pretending to be the girlfriend of a man whose full name she didn't even know. They sat beside each other in the hotel's lounge, surrounded by velvet chairs, golden chandeliers, and the low hum of piano music. Catherine talked. Ethan nodded. Olivia played along, fingers trembling around the delicate teacup, while her heart beat like a trapped bird. She still didn't know his full name. Catherine peppered them with questions, each one a small test. When did they meet? How long had they been together? What did they love most about each other? Ethan fielded most of them with practiced ease, weaving a story about weekend farmers markets and quiet dinners at home. But every so often his eyes would find hers, silently asking her to jump in. "Olivia," Catherine said, setting down her cup with deliberate precision. "What do you do for work?" "I'm a chef," she replied, surprised by how steady her voice sounded. "How fascinating. And where do you work?" Heat rose to her cheeks. "I'm between positions right now. Just moved here from Portland." Catherine's smile sharpened. "Ah, so you followed love to New York. How romantic." The way she said it made it sound like a diagnosis of terminal foolishness. "Something like that," Olivia managed. Ethan's hand found hers under the table, his thumb brushing across her knuckles. The touch was meant to be reassuring, but it sent an unexpected jolt through her. After what felt like hours but was probably only 45 minutes, Catherine finally stood, smoothing her skirt with manicured hands. "Well, this has been delightful. Ethan, I'll be in touch about the wedding arrangements." "Actually, Catherine," Ethan said, rising as well, "there's something I need to tell you about that." Her eyebrows lifted. "Oh, the wedding is off. It's been for weeks now. I thought Claire would have mentioned it." Catherine's composure cracked just slightly, like ice beginning to split. "I see. And when exactly were you planning to inform me of this development?" "I'm informing you now. After I've already made commitments. Financial commitments." The temperature in the room seemed to drop 10 degrees. Olivia felt like she was watching a chess match played with live ammunition. "I understand that complicates things," Ethan said carefully, "but I can't marry someone I don't love." Catherine's gaze slid to Olivia. She felt pinned like a butterfly to a board. "And I suppose this is why?" "Your farmer's market romance. Olivia has nothing to do with my decision about Claire. Doesn't she?" Catherine's smile was all teeth. "How convenient that you discovered true love just as you were getting cold feet about a very advantageous arrangement." Olivia wanted to sink through the floor. She was drowning in a conversation she didn't understand, playing a role she was completely unprepared for. "It wasn't like that," Ethan said. "No." Catherine turned to Olivia. "Then tell me, dear, when exactly did you and Ethan fall in love?" The question hung in the air like smoke. Olivia's mouth went dry. She could feel Ethan's tension radiating beside her, could see the desperation flickering behind his careful expression. 2 months ago, she heard herself say. The lie tasted like copper on her tongue. It was the strawberries. He dropped them, and we both reached down at the same time. Our hands touched, and I just knew. She met Catherine's eyes directly. "I know you don't believe me. I wouldn't either if I were you. But the truth is, I've never felt this way about anyone before, and neither has he." The words were fiction, but something in her delivery made them feel real. Maybe because for just a moment she wished they were. Catherine studied her for a long moment. Then she picked up her purse, lips pressed into a thin line. "I see." She turned to Ethan. "Claire will be devastated. Again." "Catherine. Save it, Ethan. You've made your choice." She looked at Olivia one more time. "I do hope you're worth it, dear." Then she swept out of the lounge, leaving the scent of perfume and threat lingering in the air. The moment she disappeared, Olivia yanked her hand from Ethan's and stood. "What the hell was that?" "I can explain. You used me. You dragged me into some family drama I know nothing about, made me lie to that woman's face, and I still don't even know your last name." "Blackwell. Ethan Blackwell." He stood too, running a hand through his dark hair. "And you're right. I shouldn't have involved you. I just panicked." "Panicked?" Her voice rose. "I missed my job interview for this. My actual life, the one I came here to start, just got derailed because you needed a prop. Let me make it up to you." "How? How could you possibly make this up to me?" "I know people. Restaurants, hotels. If you're a chef, I can get you an interview. A real one." Olivia stared at him. "You're serious?" "Completely." He pulled out his wallet, extracted a business card. "Call this number tomorrow. Tell them Ethan Blackwell sent you. They'll see you immediately." She took the card, fingers still shaking with adrenaline. "Why would you do that?" "Because you saved me today." His hazel eyes met hers, and for the first time she saw something genuine there. "And because I have a feeling we're going to see each other again." What makes you think that? He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Just a hunch. Olivia pocketed the card and turned to leave. She made it 3 steps before his voice stopped her. Olivia, she looked back. Thank you. Truly. She nodded once, then walked out of the lounge, leaving Ethan Blackwell standing alone among the velvet chairs and golden light. She didn't know it yet, but he was right. They would see each other again. And when they did, everything would change. 3 weeks later, Olivia stood in the kitchen of Bellacourt, one of Manhattan's most exclusive restaurants, plating a seared duck breast with cherry reduction. The card Ethan gave her had worked. Too well. The head chef had hired her on the spot, citing a glowing recommendation from someone in the Blackwell family. She'd tried not to think about him, tried to forget those hazel eyes and the way his hand had felt around her waist. But New York had a way of making the past collide with the present. Chef Olivia, table 12 is asking for you. She looked up from her station. What? Personal request. Guy says he knows you. Her stomach dropped. She untied her apron with shaking hands and walked out to the dining room. Ethan Blackwell sat at a corner table, looking every inch the wealthy heir in a tailored navy suit. But when he saw her, his expression softened into something almost vulnerable. Hi, he said. Hi, she crossed her arms. What are you doing here? Having dinner. Your duck is exceptional, by the way. Ethan, I wanted to see you. He gestured to the empty chair across from him. Please, just 5 minutes. I've heard that before. I know. And I owe you more than that. He waited. Please. Against her better judgment, she sat. The dining room hummed with conversation around them, candlelight catching in wine glasses and expensive jewelry. I haven't been able to stop thinking about you, Ethan said quietly. Don't what? Don't make this into something it wasn't. You needed a favor. I helped, that's all. Is it? He leaned forward. Because I've replayed that day 100 times, and every time I remember the way you stood up to Catherine, the way you looked at me when you lied for me, I feel something I haven't felt in years. What? Guilt? Hope. The word landed between them like a stone dropped in still water. Olivia felt her defenses beginning to crack. Your ex-fiancée, she said. Claire, what happened? Ethan's jaw tightened. We were together for 2 years. Our families thought it was perfect. Matching pedigrees, complementary business interests. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't marry someone I didn't love just because it made financial sense. So you called it off. 3 weeks before the wedding. Catherine nearly had me written out of the family trust. He smiled bitterly. She would have if my father hadn't intervened. But she's making my life hell in every other way. And you thought bringing a fake girlfriend to tea would help? I thought it would buy me time, make her think I'd moved on, that the decision was final. He met her eyes. I didn't expect to actually want it to be real. Olivia's breath caught. Ethan, go out with me. A real date this time. No lies, no performances. Just us. She should have said no. Every rational part of her brain screamed that this was a terrible idea. But sitting across from him, seeing the raw honesty in his expression, she found herself nodding. One date, she said. If you're late, if you cancel, if you pull any more stunts like the hotel, we're done. Understood? Understood. His smile was genuine this time, reaching his eyes. Saturday night. I'll pick you up at 7. She stood to leave, then paused. Why me, Ethan? You could have asked anyone in that lobby. Because you were real, he said simply. In a city full of people performing, you were the only real thing I'd seen in months. Saturday came. The date was perfect. Dinner at a small Italian place in the village, not the ostentatious restaurants his family frequented. They talked for hours, sharing stories about their childhoods, their dreams, their scars. Olivia told him about her mother's death when she was 16, how cooking became her way of keeping that connection alive. Ethan confessed that he'd spent his entire life trying to live up to impossible expectations, and calling off the wedding was the first truly selfish thing he'd ever done. By the end of the night, standing outside her apartment building, she felt something dangerous blooming in her chest. I had a really good time, she said. Me too. He stepped closer. Can I see you again? Yes. He kissed her then, soft and tentative, like he was afraid she might disappear. She kissed him back, tasting wine and possibility. The next 6 weeks blurred together in a haze of stolen moments and late-night phone calls. They fell into each other with the intensity of people who'd been waiting their whole lives to feel something real. Ethan showed her New York through his eyes. Hidden gardens in the financial district, late-night jazz clubs in Harlem, sunrise over the East River. She taught him how to cook, laughing as he burned pasta and oversalted sauce. It felt like magic. It felt like finally coming home. Then came the night that shattered everything. Olivia was closing up at Bellacourt when her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "You need to see this." Below it, a link. She clicked. A gossip website loaded, headline blazing. Blackwell heir's cunning scheme. Fake girlfriend to secure trust fund. Her blood went cold. The article detailed everything. How Ethan had hired an actress to play his girlfriend and convince his family he'd moved on from Claire. How the plan was designed to prevent Catherine from blocking his access to a $50 million trust fund. How sources close to the family confirmed the relationship was entirely fabricated. There was a photo, Ethan and Olivia at that first tea, her hand in his. But the quote at the bottom made her stomach turn. It was purely transactional, the anonymous source claimed. He needed someone convincing, and he found her at exactly the right moment. The whole romance has been staged from day one. Her phone rang. "Ethan." She answered. "Tell me it's not true. Olivia, where are you?" "I'm coming over. Tell me." Her voice cracked. "Tell me this wasn't all about money." Silence. Then, "It's more complicated than that." The words hit her like a fist. "Oh my God, it's true." "No, yes, it started that way, but that's not what this is anymore. You have to believe me." "I don't have to believe anything." Tears burned her eyes. "You used me, again. You made me fall for you, and it was all just part of some scheme to get your inheritance. That's not fair. My feelings for you are real. How would I even know? How could I ever trust a single word out of your mouth?" She was shaking now, fury and heartbreak warring in her chest. "Stay away from me, Ethan. I mean it." "Olivia, please." She hung up. Then she blocked his number, deleted every text, every photo, every trace of him from her phone. But she couldn't delete him from her heart. 2 days later, she walked into Bellacourt and found the head chef waiting for her, face grim. "We need to talk," he said. "What's wrong?" "The Blackwell family called. They're pulling their investment in the restaurant. Effective immediately." Her blood ran cold. "What?" "They said it's a business decision, but we both know what this is really about." He looked at her with something like pity. "I'm sorry, Olivia. I have to let you go." She stood there numb. Ethan hadn't just broken her heart. He'd destroyed her life. 2 months of silence. Olivia found work at a small cafe in Brooklyn, making sandwiches and pastries for a fraction of what she'd earned at Bellacourt. Her apartment was a shoebox with radiators that clanged all night. She'd left Portland dreaming of becoming a chef in New York, and now she was barely surviving. She told herself she hated Ethan Blackwell. Some days she almost believed it. Then he showed up at the cafe. It was a Tuesday morning, the winter air sharp enough to cut skin. Olivia was behind the counter when the door chimed, and she looked up to see him standing there, looking thinner than she remembered. Shadows pooled under his eyes. His expensive coat hung wrong on his frame. "We're closed," she lied. "Olivia." "Get out. I need 5 minutes. You don't get to ask me for anything ever again." Her hands trembled as she gripped the counter. "You cost me my job, my career. Do you understand that?" "I know." His voice was raw. "And I'm here to fix it. There's nothing to fix. We're done." "It wasn't me." He stepped closer. "The investment, the restaurant. That was Catherine. She found out about us, about the article, and she retaliated. She wanted to punish both of us. Convenient story. It's the truth." He pulled out his phone, set it on the counter. "Read the emails. She copied me on everything. She wanted me to know what she'd done." Olivia didn't want to look, didn't want to give him even that much, but something in his desperation made her glance down. The emails were there. Catherine's cold, efficient destruction of Olivia's career. laid out in corporate language and veiled threats. The final message was addressed to Ethan. "This is what happens when you make a fool of this family. Choose better next time." Olivia's anger wavered. "She's a monster." "Yes, and I'm done letting her control my life." Ethan met her eyes. "I told my father everything. The fake relationship, the trust fund, all of it. I gave up the money." She stared at him. "What, $50 million? I walked away from it, signed papers yesterday making it irrevocable." He laughed bitterly. "Catherine wanted me to learn about consequences. So I'm learning." "Why would you do that?" "Because you were right. I used you and it cost you everything. So I'm giving up everything too." He reached across the counter but didn't touch her. "I know it doesn't fix what I did. I know you might never forgive me. But I needed you to know that what I felt, it was never about the money." Olivia's throat tightened. "What you felt?" "Feel, present tense." His voice dropped. "I'm in love with you, Olivia. I have been since that first day when you looked at me like I was insane and agreed to help me anyway. And I ruined it because I was too much of a coward to be honest from the start." The words hung between them, dangerous and devastating. "I can't do this," she whispered. "I know. You broke my heart. I know. And $50 million doesn't change that. I know." He picked up his phone, started to leave. Then he paused at the door. "But for what it's worth, I'd give up 100 fortunes if it meant getting one more real moment with you." He walked out into the cold. Olivia stood behind the counter, shaking. She should have felt victorious. Should have felt satisfied that he'd suffered too. Instead, she just felt empty. 3 days later, she was working the evening shift when a woman walked in. Early 30s, designer clothes, the kind of effortless beauty that came from good genetics and better stylists. "Olivia Carter? Can I help you?" The woman extended her hand. "Claire Worthington. I believe you know my ex-fiancée." Olivia's stomach dropped. "What do you want?" "To talk. Just 5 minutes." Claire smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Seems to be the magic number with Ethan, doesn't it?" They sat at a corner table. Claire ordered nothing, just folded her hands on the table and studied Olivia like a specimen under glass. "You're not what I expected," Claire said. "What did you expect?" "Someone more obviously calculating. Someone who looked like they were playing a game." She tilted her head. "But you just look heartbroken. Is there a point to this?" "The point is that I know what it's like to love Ethan Blackwell. I know how he makes you feel like you're the only person in the world who matters, how he sees through all your defenses, how he makes you believe in fairy tales again." Claire's smile turned brittle. "And I know what it's like when he breaks your heart." "He didn't love you." "He said so." "No, he didn't, but I loved him. And when he called off the wedding, he destroyed me. My reputation, my family's expectations, my entire future." She leaned forward. "Do you know why I told the press about your fake relationship?" Olivia went very still. "That was you?" "Catherine paid me." "Quite well, actually. She wanted revenge on Ethan for humiliating her, and I wanted revenge for what he did to me. So I gave her everything she needed to destroy both of you." Claire's eyes glittered. "But here's the thing. I thought ruining his new relationship would make me feel better. It didn't. If anything, I just feel more empty. Why are you telling me this?" "Because I saw what Ethan did. Giving up his trust fund. Walking away from everything his family built." Claire stood. "He's never done anything like that before. Not for me, not for anyone. Which means either he's having a breakdown, or you actually matter to him. It doesn't change what he did. No. But maybe it means he's finally capable of being honest." Claire pulled on her coat. "For what it's worth, I hope you're smart enough not to waste that." She left. Olivia sat alone in the empty cafe, mind spinning. That night she couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about Ethan's face in the cafe, the hollowness in his voice, the way he'd walked away without asking for anything in return. At 2 a.m. she gave up and grabbed her coat. She found him exactly where she somehow knew he'd be. The Chelsea market, closed and dark, standing outside the entrance like a ghost haunting the place where their lie had been born. "Ethan!" He turned, shock flashing across his face. "Olivia, what are you doing here?" "I talked to Claire." His expression shuddered. "She came to see you?" "She told me she was the source. That she sold us out for revenge. I know. I figured it out after the emails. He shoved his hands in his pockets. I'm sorry. I should have warned you she might come after you too. She also told me what you gave up. All of it. It was just money. It was your entire future. My future was already destroyed the moment I lost you. He met her eyes, and the rawness there nearly broke her. I don't expect forgiveness, Olivia. I don't even expect you to believe me. I just needed you to know that you were never part of a transaction. You were the first real thing I'd felt in my entire life. Olivia stepped closer. I'm terrified. Of what? Of believing you. Of letting you back in and getting destroyed all over again. Her voice cracked. Of falling even deeper in love with you than I already am. Hope flickered in his eyes. You love me? I hate that I do. I hate that even after everything, I can't stop thinking about you. I hate that I want to believe you're telling the truth. I am. He reached for her hand, tentative. I swear to you, Olivia. No more lies, no more schemes. Just me, terrified and in love and completely at your mercy. She laced her fingers through his. If we do this, if I give you another chance, you don't get to run. You don't get to hide behind your family or your money or your fear. You have to be real with me. Always. I can do that. And if you ever use me again, if you ever make me a pawn in someone else's game, I will walk away and never look back. Do you understand? I understand. She pulled him close, pressing her forehead against his. I'm trusting you with my heart, Ethan. Don't break it. I won't. I promise. He kissed her then, desperate and reverent. I love you. I love you too. They stood there in the dark, holding each other like shipwreck survivors clinging to wreckage. Above them, the city glittered with a million lights, indifferent to their small human drama. Neither of them saw the figure watching from across the street, camera in hand. Neither of them knew that Catherine Worthington had one final card to play, and when morning came, everything would burn. The photo hit the tabloids at dawn. Ethan and Olivia in Chelsea Market, wrapped around each other, the timestamp clearly visible. The headline screamed, Blackwell scandal continues, disgraced heir crawls back to failed scheme. But it was the article underneath that twisted the knife. Catherine had given an exclusive interview, painting Olivia as a gold digger who'd manipulated a vulnerable man during a difficult time. She claimed Olivia had orchestrated the entire relationship to secure a payout, and now that Ethan had sacrificed his inheritance, she was still holding on, hoping for whatever scraps remained. The story went viral. Olivia's cafe was swarmed with reporters by 9 a.m. Her phone exploded with notifications, most of them vicious. Someone found her old Portland address and published it. Death threats appeared in her Instagram messages. She sat in her apartment, watching her life implode in real time, and felt nothing but a strange, distant calm. Her phone rang. Ethan, don't read it, he said immediately. Don't read any of it. Too late. I'm coming over. No, they're camped outside my building. You'll just make it worse, Olivia. His voice cracked. I'm so sorry. I never thought she'd go this far. Of course you didn't. You've spent your whole life underestimating how cruel people can be when they want something. She closed her eyes. I need you to be honest with me right now. Can your family destroy me completely? Can Catherine make sure I never work in the city again? Silence. Then, yes, that's what I thought. But I won't let her. I'll fight this. I'll sue for defamation. I'll give interviews. I'll tell everyone the truth. The truth? Olivia laughed bitterly. The truth is that we started as a lie, Ethan. That's all anyone will ever see. We can scream our love from the rooftops and it won't matter, because the foundation was rotten from the start. So what are you saying? I'm saying that maybe Catherine wins. Maybe some battles aren't worth fighting. You want to give up? His voice turned sharp with panic. After everything, you're just going to walk away? I'm saying I'm exhausted. I'm saying I came to New York with dreams, and all I've got now is ashes. She swallowed hard. I'm saying that loving you has cost me everything, and I don't know if I have anything left to give. Then take something back. Take me. The words poured out desperate and raw. Marry me. Olivia's breath stopped. What? Marry me. Right now, today. We'll go to City Hall, sign the papers, and make this so real that no one can ever call it fake again. We'll show Catherine and Claire and everyone else that they didn't win, that they couldn't break us. Ethan, I know it's crazy. I know it's fast. But we've been living in fast forward since the day we met, and I'm tired of being afraid. I love you. Marry me. Tears burned her eyes. You're asking me to marry you while reporters are literally outside my door calling me a con artist. I'm asking you to marry me because I can't imagine my life without you in it. Because you make me brave enough to be honest, and real, and human. His voice softened. Because 3 minutes of pretending with you was worth more than a lifetime of truth with anyone else. She closed her eyes, weighing the impossible choice. Run away from the scandal, start over somewhere new, alone but safe, or dive deeper into the chaos with Ethan, risk everything, and hope that love could be enough. If I say yes, she whispered, we do this my way. No more running from your family. No more letting Catherine control our lives. We face this head-on together. Together, he agreed. Always. Meet me at City Hall in 2 hours. And Ethan? Don't be late. I won't. She hung up and stared at her reflection in the window. She looked like someone who'd been through a war. Dark circles, tangled hair, eyes that had seen too much too fast. But underneath the exhaustion, something else flickered. Defiance. She grabbed her coat and walked out into the chaos. The reporters surged forward, cameras flashing, microphones thrust in her face. Questions pelted her like stones. Olivia, is it true you're a scam artist? Did you target Ethan Blackwell deliberately? How much money did you get from the Blackwell family? She stopped. Looked directly into the nearest camera. You want a statement? Here it is. I met Ethan Blackwell by accident. He asked me to pretend to be his girlfriend for 3 minutes. I said yes, and it changed my entire life. Her voice didn't shake. Everything that came after, the lies and the truth all mixed together, was messy and complicated and real. We hurt each other. We fell in love. And now we're choosing each other. Consequences be damned. She pushed through the crowd and didn't look back. City Hall was quiet, almost peaceful. Olivia stood on the steps, watching the flow of people, couples emerging with marriage certificates and dazed smiles. She checked her phone. 1 hour and 58 minutes since the call. 1 hour and 59 minutes. 2 hours. Her heart began to sink, then she saw him. Ethan Blackwell running up the steps, breathless, his expensive coat abandoned somewhere, tie askew, looking more alive than she'd ever seen him. You came, she breathed. Of course I came. He caught her hands. I'll always come. For the rest of my life, whenever you need me, I'll come. They went inside. The process was clinical, bureaucratic, nothing like the fairy tale weddings in movies. They filled out forms, waited in plastic chairs, stood before a clerk who'd clearly done this 1,000 times before. Do you, Ethan Blackwell, take Olivia Carter to be your lawfully wedded wife? I do. His voice was steady, his eyes locked on hers. Do you, Olivia Carter, take Ethan Blackwell to be your lawfully wedded husband? She thought about the collision in the hotel lobby, the fake tea with Catherine, the lies that became truth, the betrayal and the sacrifice, all the impossible choices that led to this moment. I do. They signed the certificate. The clerk stamped it with a heavy thud that sounded like a door closing on the past. Congratulations. You're married. Ethan pulled her close and kissed her. And it felt like coming home and leaping off a cliff at the same time. They walked out into the January afternoon, husband and wife, and found Catherine Worthington waiting at the bottom of the steps. She looked older somehow, the armor of her composure finally cracking. She held a newspaper with their photo on the front page. You actually did it, she said, voice hollow. You married her. I did. Ethan's arm tightened around Olivia's waist. And you can keep publishing lies, keep pulling strings, keep trying to destroy us. But it won't change anything. We're done playing your game. You've thrown away everything. Your inheritance, your position in the family, your future. No. I've finally claimed my future, the one I choose, not the one you planned for me. He looked at Catherine with something like pity. You spent so much time controlling everyone around you that you forgot what it feels like to actually live. I feel sorry for you. Catherine's composure shattered. You feel sorry for me? I built this family. I protected our legacy while your father made one reckless decision after another. And this is how you repay me? By throwing it all away for some girl you barely know? I know her, Ethan said quietly. I know she's brave enough to trust me after I gave her every reason not to. I know she's strong enough to stand in front of cameras and tell the truth even when the world's calling her a liar. I know she makes me want to be better than the coward I was raised to be. He paused. And I know I'd rather have a real life with her than a perfect lie with anyone else. Catherine looked at Olivia then, really looked at her. You think you've won? No, Olivia said. I think we've all lost something. You lost control. Ethan lost his inheritance. I lost my career. But the difference is, we're okay with what we lost, because we gained something worth more. And what's that? Each other. The truth. A chance to build something real. Olivia met her gaze without flinching. You can't destroy that, Catherine, no matter how hard you try. For a long moment, Catherine said nothing. Then she folded the newspaper carefully, tucked it under her arm. I hope you're right, she said. For both your sakes. She walked away, heels clicking on the pavement, back straight even in defeat. Ethan turned to Olivia. What do we do now? Now? She smiled, and it felt like the first real smile in months. Now we figure out how to actually be married. Get jobs, find an apartment we can actually afford, learn how to be normal people with a very abnormal beginning. Sounds terrifying. It is. She kissed him. But we'll do it together. They walked down the steps hand in hand, into the cold afternoon, into a future they'd build from scratch. The city sprawled around them, millions of lives intersecting and diverging, everyone with their own collisions and lies and moments of truth. Somewhere in Brooklyn, Claire Worthington saw the news of their marriage and felt something like closure finally settle in her chest. Somewhere in the Langston Hotel, a bellhop picked up a broken suitcase handle and wondered whatever happened to that girl who'd spilled her whole life across the marble floor. Somewhere in Portland, Olivia's old boss read about the scandal and smiled, remembering the fierce young chef who'd once worked in her kitchen, thinking maybe New York hadn't broken her after all. And in a small apartment 3 weeks later, Ethan burned pasta while Olivia laughed, and they ate it anyway because it was theirs. Imperfect and real and enough. The lies that brought them together had burned away, leaving only the truth. They were two broken people who'd found each other in the chaos, who'd chosen love over comfort, honesty over performance, and each other over everything else. It wasn't a fairy tale ending. It was better. It was real. The end.